Well, I do want to go back. I forgot this. The restaurant. You guys had a string. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but people just like breaking in like repeatedly.
Yeah.
What was that about?
We are on,
Copper.
Yeah, we're on Fairfax and Beverly. So we are where they had a lot of the riots after George Floyd. That whole neighborhood was kind of shut down. And in the meantime, it was taken over by homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the homeless community is super strong in my area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they live there.
And they run.
They
think they run.
Yeah, they really did. So when we moved in, they were like living in the parking lot. So they broke in and they stole some copper. But the funny thing was that my landlord had came in. She thought we were doing some work on the building, and I thought they were doing some work on the building because she let me have the keys like 2 weeks before my lease actually started.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little bit of a thing. So they broke in on a Thursday night. I got there Friday, but I cooked for his football team.
Mm-hmm. Fire.
And so I couldn't wait for the police to come because God knows police don't really show up in LA, right? So I went Saturday morning and there was more pipes gone. Now I realized like what's going on, right? So Saturday, and that's when James, my friend, came, and I went to Home Depot and I bought like $400 or $500 worth of paint and material, and we got this key, and everybody should have this key that turns on water. Yeah, like the city water.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to steal water from down the street to wash our equipment and to power wash. So we were literally like, we bought like 2 or 3 hoses. We were connecting them together.
God, this was a day.
Power washing.
The power washing.
Yeah. And there was like 5-gallon buckets of feces out back.
That was
because the homeless.
Power washing, yeah.
Yeah.
They live back, bruh. That was,
That's crazy.
So
people don't understand how dirty, that was.
Yeah, like we had a power wash with something called muriatic acid, which is acid to clean a swimming pool, and it splashed on my shoe, and I didn't think about it, and literally like my foot was burning. It like holes in my shoe. So we were cleaning. So I bought all these paint supplies, and then that was Saturday. And then Sunday, we were coming back to like paint because we had done like the primer and the power washing. And I walked in and everything was gone. And I called James and I was like, did you move stuff? And he was like, no, Langston, his son. He was like, he wouldn't get up this morning. F him. And I just came up. I'm like 5 minutes away. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wait outside. So we had locked the back door. They broke in through the ceiling.
What the?
Came down through the ceiling. So I'm collecting evidence like CSI. Like I found blood on a tissue. I'm putting it in a glass, wrapping it in glass. Yeah. So I called the police. They're like, we can't use any of that.
Yeah.
Why? He was like, because the chain of command isn't clear. And I'm like, but I got blood and, all this stuff. But it was crazy because our alarm went off a lot. So I think his injury was October 4th or 5th when he tore his other knee. And 2 nights later, we were at home and I had my phone on Do Not Disturb. He's like, Mom, there's alarms going off at the kitchen. So literally I had like house clothes on. I put on whatever. He gets in the car and I get about 5 minutes away and a guy who works for me named Dylan calls me and he's like, don't panic, but I think the building's on fire.
Don't panic. The building's on fire.
I'm like, okay.
I mean, I'm finna panic.
So I called my assistant, Gloria, and I was like, Gloria, she's on Citizen. I was like, look, I'm Citizen. And we're driving there because we thought somebody broke into the building.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I am a gun-toting American, I must say. Uh-huh. So we get there and there's probably 40 fire trucks. And it looked horrible.
I thought everything was
So
I'm talking about.
We pull up in the alley and it must be 3 feet of water.
It was like a movie, I swear.
Yeah, it was such a movie. And I get out and I have slides on. I have a skirt on and a jean shirt. And I run to the first fire person I see and I was like, sir, that's my building. I think it's on fire. And he was like, come with me. I'm going to bring you to the captain. And I was like, hold on, wait for my son. And Boogie had just torn his ACL. Mm. But not that. Boogie was worried about getting his shoes wet.
I didn't have any. No.
You did.
What shoes you have on, bro?
No.
Go ahead. The black.
The true story was, at first we thought it was a robbery.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump out of bed. I had no socks on, so I just put on some Black Forces. And
So when he
run
got out the car, he
house.
couldn't jump because
So I had
his
no
knees
socks
were-
on. And then where we pull up in the alley, it's flooded. And mind you, I just cleaned that alley 2 days before. So Lord know what's in that flood water.
No.
So I'm like, oh hell. Hey, like, and mind you, my right leg does not work. My ACL is gone. So I have to hop through the flood water on one leg.
Damn.
So the
With
police,
no socks.
and he wasn't trying to ruin his shoes on top of it. So finally, like they,
I didn't even care about the shoes.
My
at
black,
that
yeah,
point.
Black Forces.
Yeah, black. No,
yeah,
I
they
didn't
could go.
care about the shoes. It was the no socks in the water.
Water, that
That
flood
really-
water, whatever was in that water.
Man.
No socks in the.
And what?
You would want wet socks though. I prefer.
I
he
didn't
didn't want the
the-
feces touching.
I didn't
his
want
feet.
anything.
That's what
Oh,
you're missing.
the
Yeah,
You don't-
that's what I'm saying.
You don't
the
know.
water.
Yeah, you don't know what's in that water. I'm telling you, if you would have
Yeah,
cleaned
it
that
was literally
alley,
like it was like a flood. It was like 3 feet of water. So I'm
the
right.
water was up to
Yeah, it was
like
crazy.
yeah.
What was the water for?
From the fires fighting the
Yeah,
fire.
Oh.
So
Fighting
the building
it
next
was
door to
flooded.
us. So
But your building didn't get hit.
we were saved by 12 inches of cement. So what had happened
Damn.
is
Man.
the day before, and I had met the officer in my area because I was calling the police every day. Like literally, like they're doing this, they're doing that. And they're like, we can't help you. You got to call your city council. So now I am,
Solomon, we know some people.
Man.
What district you in?
what am I?
Fair.
I don't know, but they hate me.
Hey,
Caltran in my city council effing hates me.
we'll put a call in.
There you go.
Feel good to
Please.
say that, Solomon.
Yeah.
There you go. So I get there and our building, they're on our roof fighting the fire next door. But the day before, my guy from work called me and said, hey, they lit our trash can on fire. I called the police officer, Dantzler, and I said, something's about to happen. I feel it.
Oh.
And they're lighting the trash cans on fire. And it was he got injured October 4th. I think the fire was October 6th. On the way to the doctor, he got injured on a Friday night. We were going to prehab on a Monday. I think the fire happened on a Tuesday. And I just knew it. But the
Damn.
building was safe. But then we had to go through 2 months of fire remediation in the building. So we had to have these fans and make sure everything was dry and there wasn't mildew. And it was a lot. So it postponed our opening. Well, them tearing out the copper piping postponed it by a month. And luckily it was covered by my landlords, but it was $13,000 of damage they did. And they probably got about $1,500 to $2,000 in copper.
So the homeless lighting stuff on fire.
Well, they had a little meth lab next door.
Mm.
hmm And mind you, there was a second, they lit the building on the next fire. What was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of my clients is outside and I see one of the girls run and she hadn't even been with me that long to know about the fire. And she said, there's a fire next door. So I walk in, I tell somebody to call 911. Then I call 911 and then I call him and I'm like,
That's just a
and
lot.
because they don't secure the building.
Yeah.
So they're just in there and, if you're doing whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
shit happens light on fire because you're not so careful when you're,
Off-
smoking meth and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. But anyway, the firefighters came out. They were able to get it out really quick. Nothing happened. But it was, and I went on a Instagram rampage for like 2 weeks against the city council because I had been calling them and asking for help. And they were like, oh, well, we can't do this. And here, call this person. And we're working on it. And they were so nice to me, but in a nice, condescending,
Mhm.
F you kind of way. And I don't do well with that. So I found out that I had customers that like worked at the mayor's office and they
Yeah.
started making calls. And the only department that ever helped me was the Office of Beautification. They brought me paint because I would paint my building. They would come graffiti it the next day. Paint my building, they'd graffiti it the next day. It was
was a lot.
crazy. But now we're kind of established and there's another restaurant that moved down the street. So the neighborhood's starting to come back a little bit. But this was a neighborhood that, Supreme was there and Drake had his store. I mean, this was like the place to shop.
This is right over.
Yeah, this is right
Damn.
there. Yeah.
Fairfax used to be like
Oh.
Yes.
Damn, yeah. Fairfax used to be the
Yeah.
shit. That's what
Off
like
Future
Tyler
and
created
stuff,
off Future.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's right across the street from me. Tyler Creator Golf Store is right across. Well, it's kitty corner to me. But yeah, I mean, they were so excited for us to move in. He happens to be a customer of mine.
Tyler?
Yeah. I have a lot of like
That's actually
like
authentic.
young rapper
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful.
It is, because where else would like a 55-year-old, almost 55-year-old white woman like have Key Glock in her phone number or her phone? You know,
Right.
hey auntie,
Flex is crazy.
can you make me like gumbo or whatever? And you know, Offset and Cardi B, and they're like, auntie, can you make those soul rolls? And I'm like, you know, I just laugh
That's fire.
because it's something about, again, building community, but also creating relationships that would never happen in the world